Welcome to a new edition of Fourth and Pain, the only football and pro wrestling show to be hosted by an NFL player and a weight loss champion. With me, as always, my partner in crime, Redskins defensive end, Adam Carriker.
What you gonna do, brother, when these 24-inch pythons of the largest arms on the D-line run wild on you?
Man, I'm scared. I want to go get me the Ultimate Warrior, and we're going to have ourselves a showdown. Former wrestling announcer, weight loss champion Chuck Carroll here. Be sure to give the show a follow at Fourth and Pain, where each and every weekday we tweet out new shows at 1 p.m. Eastern, such as this one. Adam, we're opening with wrestling today. We're going to be talking about the differences between TNA and WWE. Compare, contrast, who's got the better overall product. Stand by. We're going to be getting to that in about 5 minutes, but we're going to start just by doing a news and comment, bringing us current on all things WWE, and we can't start anywhere but right at the top, the thick of things for the WWE Championship. And it seems to me that Daniel Bryan, after this huge build to SummerSlam where he captures the title for all of 2 minutes, that's now gone by the wayside, and there's this continued schmoz thing, him versus the corporate man. Seems a little stale to me. I'm curious to get your opinion.
What's interesting to me is, and I've said it before, not everyone agrees with me, but this Daniel Bryan versus the Triple H and the corporation and the face of the WWE, and he's just not up to snuff, and he's not what they want. He's a B-plus player. It just reminds me of Stone Cold versus Vince McMahon all over again. And I can understand why you'd want to rerun that storyline, greatest storyline in wrestling history. The issue is, every week, that's all I can think of. McMahon versus Stone Cold, Triple H versus Daniel Bryan. So to me, it's a little bit stale because I've already seen this storyline. It's far too similar, especially when Daniel Bryan came out in the suit. He was supposed to get shaved. He ripped it off. Just the same thing Stone Cold did when he ripped off the suit after he won the belt the first time. And the other thing is, Daniel Bryan is as over a wrestler as I've seen since Stone Cold. But because all I see is Stone Cold versus McMahon, so all I see when I see Daniel Bryan is Stone Cold, and Daniel Bryan is now Stone Cold Steve Austin. So to me, it actually downplays Daniel Bryan. It actually makes him not as good in my eyes because I can't help but compare him to Stone Cold because it's the same storyline. So I don't like seeing the storyline again. And to me, it actually hurts Daniel Bryan in my eyes because he's not Stone Cold Steve Austin, as good and as over as he is.
And interjected into that storyline this week, whether a replay or not, was the Big Show, who has gone from this big bad ass kicker to once again being a blubbering, overgrown crybaby. And, you know, if I'm the Big Show and I'm an agent out there, I'm kind of going to Big Show and I'll be like, hey, I'm a better agent than yours because I actually know what an ironclad contract is. Okay, so if I'm Alex Rodriguez's agent, who did a magnificent job getting that deal for him, I'm reaching out to the Big Show straight away.
Well, here's what's interesting to me. Big Show, Monday Night on Raw. He can't do anything because he has to provide for his family. Giants don't live that long, so he's got to take care of his family while he's still alive, while he can. And he has to do what Triple H tells him to, otherwise he'll get fired. He won't get paid. Wasn't it just last year at this time that the Big Show came out, helped Johnny Ace, signed an ironclad contract, which basically, according to Big Show, turned him from a big cuddly teddy bear into the world's largest kick-ass machine. And he was running around because this ironclad contract, doing whatever he wanted, destroying anything and everybody. Then a year later, all of a sudden, he's crying on Raw instead of destroying everybody. And all of a sudden, a year later, instead of having this so-called ironclad contract, all of a sudden there's loopholes and it's not so ironclad, and all of a sudden he doesn't have so much money, and all of a sudden he's broke, and it doesn't make any sense to me. 1 year ago, he was completely the opposite in what he was doing character and storyline wise, and now all of a sudden he's broke instead of ironclad, he's crying instead of this big bad tough guy. I don't get it. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and he was best friends with a 12-year-old Stephanie McMahon, and he was such a mentor to him or to her when he's 4 years her senior, and she was already full grown when he got to WWE. But anyway, we're going to move on because there's all sorts of holes in that story. Cody Rhodes getting fired. You got to imagine that this guy's going to make himself a little comeback here. He's going to get his revenge on Triple H. Don't have a whole lot of time to get onto this one, but you're in agreement with me here. I mean, there's no way that we've seen the end of Cody Rhodes.
Real quickly, he's over with the fans. I think this is the way to get him even more over. It's the same thing they're trying to do with Daniel Bryan. Just keep making him the ultimate underdog, and basically the fans are going to get behind him even more.
And your guy, Damien Sandow, goes from winning Money in the Bank to a glorified jobber, man. This is give it to me in 20 seconds or less.
Hey, man, he goes from winning Money in the Bank. I think he's going to get this. I'm a Damien Sandow guy. I have been ever since I first saw him. Going to get this big push. And ever since he's won Money in the Bank, he has become the ultimate jobber. I haven't seen him win a match since he won that thing. And it's what they do with every Money in the Bank winner that wasn't a big name when they won the Money in the Bank. They think that's their push. They can beat him down, then he'll somehow surprise people and win the title. But come on, man. This is not your welcome. Come on.
Exactly. I was just about to say they gave him the briefcase and said, "You're welcome." All right, changing gears here. This is Fourth and Pain with Redskins defensive end Adam Carriker, former wrestling announcer, weight loss champion Chuck Carroll here. We are online at fourthandpain.com, and we teased it at the beginning. Now it's time to do it. WWE versus TNA. We're going to go through. We're going to hit on 5 different points, give our opinions as quick as we can. And so we're going to start with this. Impact versus Raw. Which one gets you more excited, Adam?
I watch both every week, a little bit more religiously than you do, which may give away your answer about Impact versus Raw. I get more excited for Impact. Basically, Raw has the fame, it has the notoriety, obviously more profitable and more well-known, but I get more excited because I don't feel like I'm 10 years old when I watch Impact. I feel like it's a product for grown adults, whereas I feel Raw, I got to give the nod to TNA here.
Better storylines over, by the way, my nod this week aside goes to WWE. Better storylines overall. Adam will lead with you, but I certainly have a thought on this.
To me, this one was tough because Aces and Eights is obviously a rerun of NWO. I've already pointed out how Daniel Bryan versus Triple H is a rerun of Vince McMahon versus Stone Cold. So there's a lot of things that are done over, and things get recycled in pro wrestling. I like the Bound for Glory series in TNA. I like the Money in the Bank for WWE. For me, I got to give the slight edge to WWE because I love the Royal Rumble. A lot of their storylines come and go. They're good, they're bad. But to me, the Royal Rumble is my favorite match of the year.
Yeah, it's pretty simple to me. Impact is pretty consistent with their kind of storylines. WWE has the ability to be really, really bad, but at their best, you and I know that there's not a wrestling company on this planet that can compete with them. And so for that, my edge goes to WWE.
TNA's trying. I'm rooting for TNA.
They're the underdog. Everybody likes a good underdog story. Knockouts versus Divas. I'm going to take this one because I am the ladies' man. As big of a fan of the WWE as I am, they don't hire female wrestlers. They hire models. Impact, TNA Wrestling, they go out, they get girls that can actually kick ass and wrestle. So for me, this one isn't even close. This one goes to the TNA knockouts all day.
I must admit, the DVR tends to get fast-forwarded when the knockouts and the divas come out. But when I used to watch it back in the day, I always felt like I enjoyed the knockouts a little bit more. Ergo, my edge, knockouts TNA.
Comparing and contrasting WWE versus TNA, 2 points left to make. Better champion. These two ones are the big ones. Better champions, Bully Ray or Randy Orton. Which company has the better champ, Adam?
This was the toughest question for me to answer because I love Randy Orton. I've been saying for a long time he needs a push. And Bully Ray, even before he tricked Hogan and screwed his daughter and became the champ, I was like, this guy's one of the best heels I've ever seen. And honestly, I like them both. I'm going to give the nod to Randy Orton for one simple reason. He's a little bit younger. Bully Ray, he's been doing it for almost a quarter decade. Randy Orton's got a few more years in him. I'm going to go with Orton.
Right, and for that same reason, I tend to agree with you. Randy Orton has already gone. Yeah, he had himself a long spell between title runs, but the fact of the matter is he was the youngest champion in WWE history, if I'm not mistaken, there for a time.
You're correct.
And so Bully Ray didn't really get a major singles title until recently, and you just said he's been around for a quarter century. Ergo, the bigger, better, badass champion, Randy Orton.
Plus the studded Dudley boy. I always think of that guy still, too.
Love that one. And 30 seconds or less, better wrestling, better wrestlers overall. Adam, WWE, TNA, who you got?
WWE's top guy, John Cena. They got guys like Kane who are decent in the ring. WWE is more entertainment. They come out and say sports entertainment. Impact Wrestling says where wrestling matters. They got a guy like Austin Aries, Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles, guys who can legitimately wrestle. Daniel Bryan can wrestle, but overall, I give the nod to TNA. And 3 out of 5 to TNA, so surprise, I actually like TNA a little better.
Well, I think I'm 4 out of 5 for WWE, and for me, it boils down to this. WWE can make wrestlers. TNA just recycles them. Therefore, the edge goes to WWE. Tweet us your thoughts at Fourth and Pain or leave them up on our Facebook page. But for right now, we are fresh out of time. Weight loss champion Chuck Carroll here with your weight loss tip of the week, and it's simple. Don't skip breakfast, and when you eat breakfast, make sure that it's chock full of protein. Why? Because protein keeps you fuller longer. You're not going to go out and have this ginormous lunch. No, you're going to have a smaller lunch, fewer calories. And you know what? That also means that you're not going to have that big PM slump. You're not going to want to take that big old nap in the afternoon. You eat a protein-filled breakfast, and you too can be a weight loss champion.